They take the 3 off the board, they get a touchdown. It was a ticky-tack. You get a long PI right before the half, spot foul, and then Honey Badger gets a PI call in the end zone, put the ball at the 1-yard line. That's a touchdown. Great whip route by Antonio Brown. Brady does a great job of throwing the ball, keeping it low so it doesn't get popped up or intercepted. Yep. The carom gets batted up into the air. Really, of all the calls, I didn't think the Mike Evans call in the end zone skip. I don't think he could have called that. The ball hit the back wall. So unless he stretch Armstrong, I don't think he's catching that. I thought the one on Ward with a little ticky-tack, the one Honey Badger ended up picking off. But Skip, they were doing it. It just, for me, considering how they let them play in the NFC Championship game, and then the way they called it was totally different. I don't know if they call a game like this in the regular season. They called this really close. And normally in a game like this, I remember playing in the Super Bowl my first 2 times with Mike. Mike, like, they're going to let you play. So don't expect to get the calls that we would normally get. Don't expect that. Brian Billick, when I was in Baltimore, said the exact same thing. They're going to let you play. I don't think they let them play as much as I would have liked to have seen. But Kansas City was committing the fouls that were called against them. You can't line up off sides. It's as simple as that. The mistakes that you make, you just can't make those mistakes in a game of this magnitude. Playing a team as hot as that with a quarterback like that. So, for me, Skip, it was not luck that these penalties were called. Luck goes to the prepared. What happened when preparation meets opportunity. Tampa, I want to say this again so everybody out there can understand. Tampa was the better team last night. That's why they won.
Okay, that is very big of you to acknowledge that publicly. I appreciate that. The point of this discussion is that there was no late game-changing call. There was no Saints-Ram uncalled penalty that vaulted the Rams into that Super Bowl a couple of years back.
Or the Green Bay call on 3rd down and short and gave Tampa the 1st down.
Okay. None of that happened. All the calls happened in the first half, but late in the first half. And I'm going to try to be incredibly objective about this because the Brady haters have some points here if we go through them. But the first one was the tipped interception that came on a 3rd and 4 play at the Kansas City 32. This was with 7:55 to go in the second quarter. And tipped, and Honey Badger gets it. And he was crushed because he wanted to pick off Tom Brady, obviously, and it got nullified. Okay, so there's
I don't know if I'd have called it.
Charvarius Ward. There's the tipped interception. Okay, they were clutching and grabbing all night long, and I thought they did let them get away with some of that. That one was pretty blatant to me, and Mike Evans is such a load because he's 6'5", 2 whatever he is, 235, and they do, it's the Shaquille O'Neal sort of syndrome of they let him beat on him a lot. But that one, he was grabbing, holding, pulling on him. And whoever, the ref on that side said, I can't let you go that far. And so that negates that intercept. I didn't have a problem with that penalty. Okay, now we get to the offsides. They call it on Mecole Hardman, but it looks to me like Antonio Hamilton is also offsides on this. There's the tipped interception. Here's the field goal play. I think it was a double offsides, but the official play-by-play says it was Mecole Hardman coming from the top of the screen, but it looked like that Hamilton lined up offsides to me. So I don't have a huge problem with that.
He lined up offside.
It just looked like he lined up. Do they sometimes let that go? Sometimes, but it's the Super Bowl.
It's the D Ford play. Remember in the AFC Championship game, he landed up offsides and it negated an INT.
Okay, and so that leads to the 17-yarder to Gronk. Okay, that for the 14 to what was it, 14-3 touchdown.
Correct.
Okay, then we get to the sequence at the end of the half. Okay, to your point, it's 1st and 10 at the Tampa Bay 42 after the 2 timeouts, and you say, well, you know what's coming. They're going to try to get one, get one deep. Okay, so could this have gone uncalled? Brashard Breeland, again, I just thought...
He got his feet tangled. But they said, well, you got your feet tangled, but
you say it was incidental? Well, he hits his back with his hand. He caught him on the heel. Okay, well, that's pass interference to me because I don't think Mike's going to go down without that. And if you say that ball was too far, well, if you let him run all the way through it, he's 6'5". I don't know. Maybe if he keeps going, maybe he's got a chance to lay out and catch that. Okay, I'm throwing the flag on that one. I got no problem with that. Okay, so now we get down to the goal line and we get the Honey Badger play. And I am with you on this one. I probably would not have called this one. Again, did he have hands on him? Yeah, he did. Was the ball way overthrown? Yes, it was. The call gets made before
Skip, look at this.
Clear.
I ain't gonna catch that, Skip.
No.
And Honey Badger does the great thing. He doesn't let him cross his face. He said, look, if you're going to hit me with the fade, okay, you got me. Okay. But I'm not going to let you cross my face.
By the way, that was a max blitz. Everybody's coming. Brady had to throw it off his back foot and just throw it up for grabs, hoping that 6'5" would get there. I would have let that one go.
So would have I.
Okay.
But that might have been the only one, though, Skip.
Okay, I got that. But then it comes down to that set up the touchdown play, which was 1 yard to Antonio. And who did they victimize on that play?
Honey Badger.
It's Honey Badger. So they make the little in and out move with AB, and he throws it low so he can go down and snatch it at the turf. Okay? And Honey Badger didn't like it. And he had something to say to Tom about it. Here's the low throw that is his trademark down inside the 5. Okay, and then they get into it. And I don't know who started it. Brady wanted to finish it, and then, no, Honey Badger comes over, and he waves a finger at him. Okay, to me, I might have thrown 2 flags on this play. I might have, because they were both hot and heavy into this. Okay, so then, you know, it escalates into what we're about to talk about after that. But the point is, I thought that was a two-way foul. Okay?
Because once Honey Badger leaves, you can't allow another guy to go chase him down and get his last say in. Because it's normally the last guy that does something, Skip, that gets caught.
Okay, so it's always who swings back.
The second guy gets caught.
But I'm not sure who swung first. They're mouthing at each other. That's okay. But then it escalates to the point Tom goes to him, then he comes back and wags his finger. The only blatant, the finger wag came from Ty to Tom, right? Okay, so that got called, and I thought it was unfair Brady didn't get one too. He deserved it.
I totally agree. Now, Honey Badger did tweet, it's deleted. We'll talk about that. But Skip, look, I've always said this about the Chiefs, and it was concerning because you repeat negative behavior.
You do.
And a lot of times you repeat it in the most inopportune of times. A game of this magnitude. See, Skip, when you did a personal foul penalty and you up 30-10. Man, we winning. But what happens when you're in a close ball game or you're down by 7, you're down by 10, and you do these dumb things and you keep drives alive? Mike Shannon, man, look here. Mike Shannon used to tell a lot. He say, dumb players get you beat. Dumb fouls get you beat.
They do.
You do dumb things, it gets us beat. So for once, I want you to think about this. Instead of you getting him back, let's get him back on the scoreboard, and then you have your say at the end of the game.
Why did Andy Reid get let go in Philadelphia? What was his reputation? That he was a little soft, that he was so much a player's coach. He loved his players so much that they weren't in great condition and that they weren't mentally disciplined to avoid these kinds of penalties. So Jeffrey Lurie finally said, I got to go in a new direction, and that was to Chip Kelly, who's supposed to come in and crack down, right? Okay, well, we know he had his moments for a while. But the point is, Andy got another shot in Kansas City, and I'm sure he changed some things, but I think in the end, he is who that's who he is. He has offensive genius about him, and they do a lot of things offensively that are revolutionary. But again, he often had a reputation, except for the great Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator, that he has no focus on the other side of the ball. Well, he needed Spags, and he needed the late great Jim Johnson to be his coordinators.
Skip, the way I look at it is that when your team gets a lot of penalties, one or two things is happening. Either you're coaching it or you're condoning it.
That's right.
Now, which is it? That's all I need to know. Which is that what you coach? Is that what you condone? Because there is no possible way you can continuously get these type penalties in these situations. It cost you a chance to go to Super Bowl 2 years ago.
It did.
And here it is. You get in the big game and you repeat.
It's who Andy Reid is.
Well, yeah, you got to change it.
the good and the bad.
Well, the good is good when it's really good.
It's really good.
But what happens when things are not going so good?
Agreed.
Okay, well, you guys mentioned it, what happened between Honey Badger, Tom Brady. So let's dig a little